On the morning of October 28, 2023, the ground beneath Pakistan shook violently as a massive earthquake struck the country's northern and southwestern regions. Measuring 7.5 on the Richter scale, the earthquake's epicenter was located near the town of Harnai in Baluchistan, one of Pakistan's most isolated and underdeveloped regions. The shockwaves spread rapidly, sending tremors across large parts of Pakistan, including the capital city, Islamabad, and as far as neighboring Afghanistan and India. While earthquakes are not uncommon in this part of the world, the ferocity of this one, coupled with the fragile infrastructure of the affected regions, turned the natural disaster into a humanitarian catastrophe. The most heavily impacted areas were in Baluchistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provinces, where the landscape is defined by remote, mountainous terrain and fragile buildings. Many of the structures in these regions, built with materials like mud and stone, were not designed to withstand such powerful seismic forces. As the earthquake shook the earth, countless buildings crumbled, roads were severed by landslides, and the ground itself seemed to crack open, swallowing entire villages and leaving behind a trail of devastation. One of the first things that struck those in the affected areas was the sheer chaos that followed the earthquake. In the immediate aftermath, the roads were impassable, making it difficult for emergency services to reach the most severely impacted locations. Many people were trapped under the rubble of collapsed homes and buildings, unable to escape. In the hours following the tremors, locals began digging through the debris with their bare hands in a desperate attempt to rescue friends, family, and neighbors. Despite the overwhelming scale of the disaster, the community spirit that emerged in those first hours was palpable. People, even those who had lost everything, came together to help one another, offering what little they had in an effort to aid the injured and provide food and water to survivors. At the same time, Pakistan's military was quick to respond to the disaster. The Pakistan Army has long been at the forefront of disaster relief operations, and this earthquake was no exception. Army helicopters were dispatched to conduct aerial surveys of the affected areas and assess the damage. Specialized rescue teams, equipped with heavy machinery and trained in disaster response, were deployed to the worst-hit regions. They worked tirelessly, day and night, to extricate survivors from the rubble and provide immediate medical aid. However, the difficult terrain and the extent of the destruction made it a race against time. The rescue operations were hindered by blocked roads, damaged infrastructure, and the ongoing risk of aftershocks, which continued to shake the region for days after the initial quake. In the days following the earthquake, the Pakistani government, alongside international organizations, ramped up their relief efforts. The government declared the affected regions a disaster zone and began coordinating the delivery of emergency supplies, including food, clean water, tents, and medical supplies. The United Nations and several international aid agencies also mobilized, providing critical resources to assist with the relief efforts. The Red Crescent, the humanitarian arm of the Pakistan Red Cross, played a central role in coordinating aid, setting up temporary shelters, and offering medical care to the injured. The scale of the human toll became apparent as the days unfolded. By the time the initial rescue phase concluded, over 1,000 people were confirmed dead, with many more injured. The earthquake left entire villages decimated, their homes reduced to rubble. Thousands of people found themselves without homes, their livelihoods gone in an instant. As the death toll continued to rise, so did the number of injured individuals who were being treated in makeshift medical clinics set up by relief teams. Hospitals in the affected areas were overwhelmed, and doctors and medical staff worked under extreme pressure to care for the wounded. Many people who had sustained serious injuries had to be transported to larger cities for treatment due to the lack of medical facilities in the rural areas. The true human cost of the earthquake became even clearer as authorities reported that many of the victims were women and children, the most vulnerable in such a disaster. In rural areas, where homes are often built with materials that offer little protection against the forces of nature, these groups were disproportionately affected by the collapse of buildings. Women, who often live in separate spaces from men, were tragically trapped inside collapsed homes, making rescue efforts even more challenging. The devastation of the earthquake hit hardest in the rural communities, where infrastructure was already lacking, and where many of the homes were built without consideration for seismic safety. In the face of this tragedy, Pakistan's military, relief organizations, and local communities worked tirelessly to rescue as many people as possible. In addition to the direct human toll, the earthquake caused severe damage to Pakistan's infrastructure. Roads were severed, making it difficult to transport supplies and rescue teams to the hardest-hit areas. Power lines were knocked out, leaving large swaths of the population without electricity for days. Communication systems were also disrupted, further complicating the coordination of relief efforts. The destruction of critical infrastructure, such as hospitals, schools, and government buildings, meant that recovery efforts would be lengthy and challenging. Yet, amid the heart-wrenching tragedy, the story of Pakistan's recovery from the earthquake is also one of unity and resilience. Communities that had been devastated by the quake banded together to support one another. Volunteers from all corners of the country arrived to assist with the relief efforts, bringing food, supplies, and manpower to help rebuild homes and clear debris. Families that had lost everything were supported by local charities and relief organizations that sprang into action to provide assistance. Pakistan's military, government agencies, and the Pakistani Red Crescent provided much-needed leadership, and the international community came together to offer financial support and humanitarian aid. Pakistan's government pledged to assist in rebuilding the affected regions, with a special focus on rebuilding homes, restoring infrastructure, and ensuring that the people affected by the earthquake could recover with dignity. Financial aid and resources were allocated to help communities rebuild their homes, schools, and hospitals. Efforts were also made to improve the seismic resilience of buildings and infrastructure, ensuring that future disasters would not be as devastating. The October 2023 earthquake remains one of the most catastrophic natural disasters to hit Pakistan in recent history. However, in the face of this tragedy, the people of Pakistan demonstrated a level of resilience and unity that was nothing short of extraordinary. Despite the immense loss of life and property, the spirit of the nation remained unbroken. Volunteers, aid workers, and ordinary citizens came together to support the victims of the disaster, and the nation united in its efforts to rebuild. While the road to recovery will undoubtedly be long and fraught with challenges, the events of October 2023 stand as a testament to the strength, resilience, and unity of the people of Pakistan. As the country moves forward, the lessons learned from this disaster will help guide future recovery efforts and prepare for the next challenge. The earthquake has shaken Pakistan to its core, but it has also shown the world the power of human solidarity in the face of overwhelming adversity.